our supermarkets and different things like that. It's just not really making sense to me. Why don't you want people to know exactly what's what? I just in my research, I definitely learned a few things as far as that they're not only just doing this with foods and different things like that. Monsanto also owns, or one of their brands is also a popular product that a lot of people use in their homes. It's a pesticide in a weed killer. It's Roundup. Monsanto has lost, I believe, I can't even remember the exact statistic, but it's a vast amount of lawsuits in regards to Roundup and how much cancer it's been causing in a lot of communities where there's a high farm population and different things like that. Like you would say Nebraska or Iowa and different places like that, to where people really rely on farms and crops and things like that. So they're using these products, and throughout the years they're finding that these products are developing cancers within them. A lot of this isn't making mainstream news and media and different things like that, but if you do the research, you'll see that a lot of these things are just popping up all across the country. And we're kind of behind the curve, because across seas, a lot of other countries have already realized this and have passed laws and bills to ban a lot of Monsanto products. They don't want anything from them. They've even, there's stories been circulating about how in Africa, a lot of people try to paint Africa as this whole, everybody's out there starving and flies on their face buzzing around and they need our help, and for 38 cents a day you could sponsor a kid. Well, just to give you a little bit of insight on that, even in the poorest of the poorest countries in Africa, they're rejecting Monsanto's help. They don't want their grains. They don't want their seeds, because they see what it's doing to other countries. So if these people are doing that, where they actually more than likely they need the assistance, and they're not taking it, they're not accepting it, to me, that's raising the flag right there. So I honestly don't know what can be done to combat the giant that is Monsanto, because, as I said, they control pretty much all of the grain that we consume, unless you're growing it yourself, But that's another alternative that a lot of people, they say, I've done the research, I don't like this, and I want to start doing organic, and I want to go to Whole Foods, I want to go to Panera Bread, or whoever is doing everything all natural. But what I will introduce you to is for people who are saying, I just want to grow my own stuff. There's already been a bill that was made into law in 2011. For a lot of people that don't know, it's called the Food Safety Modernization Act, or you can look up S-510. So I'm just going to give you a couple key bullets about this Food Modernization Act, and you can kind of just draw some conclusions from there. But what it does is it puts all U.S. food and U.S. farms under the Homeland Security umbrella in the event of contamination or an ill-defined emergency. It removes the right to clean, store, and thus own seed in the U.S., putting control of all seeds in the hands of Monsanto. It allows the government to mandate all antibiotics, hormones, slaughterhouse waste, pesticides, and GMOs. That in turn industrializes the farms in America and eliminates local organic farming. They've even made it so that even if you collect rainwater, that's now illegal. And like I said, that was just a few, short, quick bullets that I felt would kind of resonate with people to say, okay, let me actually go look this thing up and see what if there's any truth to what Dwight is saying. He probably just talking about something that he heard. No, I actually went, looked up the acts, looked up the laws. Yeah, I paraphrased some of this, but it's there. It's in black and white. President Obama signed it into law back in 2011. A lot of people don't even know about it. They're just realizing that they're getting in trouble for growing carrots in their yard. You know what I mean? They got buckets outside to catch water, and they getting in trouble for these things. That's why I said it kind of ties in with everything else as far as the shootings and different things like that, because as you can see with this Homeland Security Act, it definitely it criminalizes so many things. And in the state of, let's say, martial law, or even this whole everybody's scared about a nuclear attack from Iran or different things like that, it just makes it to where once we become in a state of emergency or anything like that, we have no powers anymore. We can't do anything on our own anymore. We can't grow food on our own anymore. Everything is going to be you're doing what the government says, or you're going to jail, you know. And then to segue into the next part of what I was going to talk about, there's actually the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012. Every year they always do a National Defense Authorization Act, but the one in 2012 kind of, you know, put things on a different little bit of a spin, because with that act that was signed in, one of the major points about it was that people are now allowed to be indefinitely imprisoned without a proper trial here in America. So let's say, you know, they listening to your phone, and you might be making a joke, say, you know, you might even just say, hey girl, that food you made last night was the bomb. Instantly, more than likely, it's the NSA is gonna, they listen to some of these keywords and trigger words that they hear, you know, on phones and emails and on Facebook and Twitter and so on and so forth, and they're gonna, of course, do a little bit of investigating. But if they deem you as a threat, people are just gonna show up at your door, at your workplace, wherever, and they can imprison you indefinitely without ever, you know, you don't have no speedy right to a trial. You don't have any, you don't have to have any representation. It I would assume it might look something like, you know, in the movies when the CIA come and grab you, they throw that bag over your head, and you just end up in Guantanamo Bay or something, and nobody never hears from you ever again. Like, I know that might be a little bit of a stretch, but these are real laws. These are real bills that have been passed to where our rights, it just seems like, are going to the wayside, you know. A lot of people are so wrapped up nowadays in everybody Instagram, or everybody on Facebook, or everybody on this. It's like so much knowledge is out here that can be found and discovered just at the blink of an eye, because everybody has such a vast information system right in their hands. But it just seems like nobody's really using it for the right things, you know. It's just, it kind of just blows my mind that such knowledge is available out there, and nobody's really, you know, using it to their advantage. You know, it's like everybody's just in a fog right now, you know. It just, I don't know, it really just boggles my mind. I learned about something a little while ago, well, not even a little while ago, quite some years ago, and I kind of put it to the back of my mind, you know, started having a family, started really focusing, you know, about different things in life. But it wasn't until I watched the movie probably a couple weeks ago, where I had seen it already, but a lot of people might have seen it. It's called Enemy of the State, and it's got Will Smith in it, Gene Hackman, and I can't remember who else. Real good movie. It was just like a lazy Saturday. I was just laid up watching it, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy that they're talking about a lot of the things that are going on in present day back in, this was, I think it was like 97, it was like late 90s when that movie came out. And then for people who haven't ever seen it, it's a really good movie. You know, it's about Will Smith had, I guess got mixed up in a little government situation to where he didn't know he was carrying like some computer chip or something like that. But the group that was following him, they could just hack into the stoplights, They could hack into any closed circuit television. They could listen in on any phone, different things like that. And they were using all of these different technologies just to try and track him down to, I guess, get back the computer chip or whatever. Great movie, but it just really shed some light. And then after that whole Eric Snowden incident with the NSA, and he released a lot of the information and things like that, I'm like, man, this is like back in '98 where this movie was just putting it like on the forefront. It was like just smacking you in the face and letting you know what the government is capable of. And a lot of the time people just looked at it like, oh, well, it's just a movie. Oh, the movie was great, a lot of action in it, and they just went home and just like never really thought about it on an in-depth level. And then so it just made me think about how many movies there are that's like that, how many songs are out there like that, and different things like that, where it's called predictive programming, to where certain things are put out and leaked, and it just gets into your subconscious, but you don't really delve into it. And then so when these things actually come to pass or start happening, you're not really, it kind of makes it feel like it's just a faint memory, you know, kind of like that whole deja vu situation that people always talk about, and to where it's like, you're like, oh, well, this is bad, but it's not really that bad, because it gives you like a warm feeling because you remember it from happening already or something like that. So it's definitely something that I think a lot of people should look into, the whole predictive programming thing, because it's been happening for years and years and years. I even remember talking to somebody quite some time ago where they said that, and this was a government insider, somebody I knew from back in my military days, where they said, if you ever want to see what are some of the new tactics and new weapons and different things like that the government is going to start using on people, just watch the movies, you know, just watch the movies. And I kind of just like, you know, I was young, 17, 18 years old at the time. I'm like, oh man, whatever. Just pass me another drink. I'm not worried about that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to go out tonight. I'm not really listening to what you're talking about. But as I've gotten older, I really start to pay attention a little bit more, you know, because you try to keep abreast of certain things, especially when you have a family, because now it's like your mind is not just thinking for you, you're trying to think for other people. And a lot of the knowledge that was imparted to me years ago, I'm starting to be able to really recall it back to my memory. I'm like, oh, they were right. You know, you got to really pay attention to a lot of the things that are being absorbed through not just the movies, but also, like I stated, the music, these different TV shows and things like that. You know, a lot of people, they wonder, they say, oh, well, you know, we don't got shows anymore like the Cosbys and Martin and, you know, Full House or whatever might have been your favorite TV show from the 80s or the 90s or anything like that. It's like now, you know, it's nothing really on TV anymore that's just good, clean fun, or that's just wholesome, or different things like that. It's like everything now is just sex, violence, drugs, drinking, homosexuality, or polygamy. Everything is just like, you're just getting bombarded day in and day out with all of these different things. And it's like, man, I just want just some regular, I just want to laugh a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to be, I guess, just like mentally raped with some of these negative things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me now, I don't even really like cutting my TV on, because it's nothing really positive coming on anymore, you know? And I think that that's just another way of I guess, I don't really want to say dumbing down society, but using that whole predictive programming mindset to just really, I guess you would say, numb the senses of the masses. You know what I mean? I really, because I think that honestly, as a society, we're starting to become numb to too many things, you know, and we're starting to just take so many things as happenstance instead of just really analyzing different situations and really reacting to them, you know. So I don't know, just take some of that, you know, soak it up, hopefully